Good morning, Miguel. How you doing? Crypto Ape, you too, mate. Good to see you tuned in. Oh, nice, man. Oh, don't let me stop you working. Yeah, smash the like button, even though I haven't done anything yet. I thought on the Bitcoin chart I would mark off every $10,000 increments, and then we've got the all-time high of 69,000. But I suppose I should chuck in the 10,000, why not? I don't think Bitcoin's ever going to go back to 10k, but just for argument's sake, I'll put in the $10,000 line. Or just for the sake of OCD. Yes. There we go. And then obviously zeros down the bottom there, right there. So yeah, we're pretty much, I mean, from all-time high, we're right in the smack bang in the middle, sandwiched between nothing and the all-time high. So I think it's a pretty reasonable area, and I can see why it's balancing out at 30,000. Not just because of all this support in the past. How many instances of support we have here? At least 4 there. This has been a big test of that support. All of this time spent at 30k. We tried to establish, support around 40, but it actually acted as resistance because, I mean, we had support here at 40 and here, but once we hit below it, there was all this, like, it became like a challenge to get through. Yeah, there was some breakthroughs there, but nothing sustainable, nothing long term. It came up a few times, but yeah, this was all just, support discovery, just trying to figure out where Bitcoin was going to rest long term, or like, over an amount of weeks, I suppose. Rick, what room you hanging out in? I'm not in any rooms at the moment. I'm just freestyling outside of any room. But I might hop into my own Discord shortly. We'll see. Okay. So as far as what's been happening in the last few hours, we've got price is teasing still around 30,000. No surprise there, hey? It always feels really exhilarating and exciting as soon as we get up to like 31 or 32,000, it's like, yep, we're taking off, But just like any good old accumulation zone, once it hits a threshold, they stack up the walls and no one can get through it, and down comes the price again. So if you were, I mean, this is a bit more advanced and a bit more like gambly, but if you were like wanting to trade this, there is a fairly defined range here. You could say when price hits anywhere below, say, this line here, you could open up longs. And then when price reaches like, well, what is it now? Let's get a bit more of a sample size here that touches a bit more of the peaks. Yeah, like around this area, I would say. Like, so anything outside of it, these are just like freakish moves that have gone beyond from the excitement in the buying. But yeah, if you're buying around this line here, I mean, I don't know how long this trend is going to last, but it's been happening for some time now. If you buy on the green line and sell on the red line, you know, that's been happening. You could have been doing that for how many days? 29 days, almost a month. You could have been buying the green and selling the red, buying the green, selling the red. But anyway, it looks like it's heading back toward, you know, the short-term buy area, the buy zone, you know, 30K. It really wouldn't surprise me if it did another like spike and then down again. You know, that seems to be the pattern that's going on here. But yeah, patterns don't last forever, as we know. It will exhaust itself at some point. But this seems to be, this line down here, that seems to be the bottom of this wedge formation, or ascending triangle, you could say. Because if we're calling these the extreme tops, let's just truncate it a bit to fit our story. There we go. So yeah, we've got some kind of an ascending triangle, which is coming off the back of a huge downtrend, of course. Huge downtrend, ascending triangle. What happens? What's the textbook? Well, the textbook says we go down once we, you know, finish this pattern. But as I said in the last stream, I've seen examples where it's ignored the pattern and just gone up. We've had a new breakout with a new trend, new bull trend. So at the moment, this is a ranging market, which means sideways. So it's ranging. And especially if you're talking the higher time frames like the daily, it's a ranging market on the daily chart. But if you're trading, if you're day trading, intraday trading, there's still a lot of volatility and price action to be able to trade. You know, even the alts probably see a bit of this, but yeah, if you're doing it on Bitcoin, then yeah, lots of activity on the small time frames. Let's see. It's been kind of quiet the last couple of hours. It's been it's squeezing up, and it's, you know, are we going to hold 30K or are we going to break back down below it? You know, like we've spent, I think, just from looking at this, it looks like we've spent more time below 30,000 than above it. You know, there's a lot more in this green box here. There's a lot more price data below 30 than there is above it. So yeah, I guess if you're wanting to do some trades or some short swings on Bitcoin, accumulate it below 30 and then sell it above 30. So you'd be buying all through this zone here, and then as soon as it pops up, you know, it could even go up to 32 again. We'll see what happens, but that's just one way to approach, you know, trading, I guess, in this sort of ranging market. Just try to define your supports and resistances and play to those. Of course, using stop losses. when you can. So I'd probably put a stop loss like, and this would be like a moving stop loss. So I'll make that a dashed line. Like, you don't want to be holding any trades that go beyond the area, the range, because that means, and fake outs kind of will stop hunt you if you've got a tight stop loss, but that's trading, isn't it? Like, it's a risk you got to take. Sorry, my dogs just went crazy. Shh. So, let me just read a couple of these comments here. I keep hearing about a relief rally, but the longer it stays going sideways, does that lower the chances of that and increase the chances of a breakdown? Question 2, does that range have to play all the way until it breaks out of it? Up or down? I mean, till your red and green line almost touch. So, I mean, price doesn't have to do anything. It'll just do whatever it wants. But the likelihood of it breaking up or down, like it's hard to say. You sort of just have to have measures in place to protect your position if it goes against what you're expecting or against what you want it to do. So relief rally, I mean, yeah, there could be. We've been accumulating for like a good month here at this $30,000 level. So let me just... Yeah, we've been down here for what, 31 days. That's a good month, right? So it would be reasonable to suggest that we're going to get some kind of, a relief, but yeah, I think so, because every time we dip down into these high 20s, it gets bought up quite quick, and there's a lot of support at about 29,000. It seems like all these areas here, like especially through here, like price did not spend much time below 29k. So if you can sneak in some buys below 29k, those are good buys if this trend is to maintain, How much longer do we have of this trend? Who knows? Like, it could be, it actually could trend out through this wedge that seems to be forming. We could get action going, something like this for some time. It could continue to do that, but yeah, that the volume just obviously has to return into the market, into crypto, before we see any huge like hikes in price. So that might take a while, but yeah, if things stay sort of status quo here, if I'm gonna try and guess what's gonna happen, I'd be surprised if we broke below 28,000. Like if we headed down to buy zone 2 that I have here. I put these in the other day because it was news. Sorry if you can hear that dog barking. Right. So let's see. Yeah, buy zone 2. I highly doubt that we'll see any action in buy zone 3, but have a plan in place in case it does dip into that range, into that zone. That's the low 20s. The mid 20s, that's a bit, well, obviously more likely than buy zone 3, but Yeah, if you've been accumulating through buy zone 1, there's nothing wrong with that, I think. But you want to have some dry powder in case this one happens, in case this zone becomes active. I mean, prices like snuck into it a couple of times back here, which would be buy zone 2. But yeah, dollar cost averaging is the key in this market right now. Just play the long game, be patient, is what I would say. Not financial advice, of course. So, yeah, apart from that, the alts, let's have a look at some other coins. So we've got Doge, still within the wedge, I would argue, but it's looking like it's really testing this this bottom support. So it looks kind of textbook to me. You know, a downtrend falling into a pattern is likely to continue down because it's a continuation pattern, right? So if you're trending down, the idea is that it continues after the pattern completes. So that's a continuation pattern. A reversal is something like an inverse head and shoulders. Like if there was a low set in, a lower low, and then a higher low, that's known as a reversal. So that reverses the trend. After going down, it'll head up. Well, that's the idea. And same inversely on a standard head and shoulders. If you get a higher high, but then a lower high, it's going to reverse the trend from up to down. Just to make these squiggles. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to turn these dogs down there if they keep barking. Alright, so Dogecoin, I wouldn't hold my breath for Doge at like anytime soon. We need a bull market, basically. We need a full proper return to the bull market for Doge to have any chance of, you know, a huge bull rally, or some kind of black swan event, like a positive event that we don't see coming for Doge, like Tesla announcing that they'll accept Doge for their cars, which I doubt is going to happen outside of a bull market. I think those kind of announcements and things, they usually piggyback off the back of a market that's already trending. You know, they get more action out of it. But I mean, that's kind of like manipulation events, like, you know, things to try and drive the price. But yeah, that's sort of heading into the conspiracy side of things. Like, I don't know if Elon Musk is still trying to drive the Doge price at the moment. I doubt it. I think that was a 2021 thing. Maybe he'll do it again, like when the market picks up and the activity in crypto as a whole, you know, ramps back up. Maybe that's when he'll get back onto the tweets. But yeah, the market is sleeping. It's kind of dormant. Let me get a total market cap chart up. Let's go to red list and go to total. So, yeah, surprise, surprise, it looks very similar to the Bitcoin chart. If we go like this, if I switch between the two, total market cap looks quite similar to Bitcoin. And that is because Bitcoin holds dominance, of course. So anything Bitcoin does, it sort of sets the sentiment, so to speak. So yeah, total, like, obviously we're missing $2 trillion from the crypto market, the peak of which was November last year. And yeah, it will certainly flow back in. It's just a matter of time, I would say. My voice is cracking. Is it still cracking? Is my voice still crackling? Anyway, I'll just carry on anyway. Sorry if it's distorted at all. Not anymore. Oh, sweet. All right, so yeah, look at that. I mean, from a total crypto market cap perspective, we've got the cap or the resistance here at 1 trillion. Let's call it just 1 trillion. We broke above that and we've launched off it as support back here. So this is price action or price activity 1, price action 2, and then now we're getting our third action off this 1 trillion mark right here. So I really think this is a good chance to maintain this level, which coincides with the $30,000 Bitcoin. You know, we've got number 1. We'll call this all number 2, and then now we're getting the third action off this support. So yeah, I think it's reasonable to forecast that we're gonna hold either the high 20s or say 30k. But yeah, I could be wrong. We could get a bit of activity back toward 20, and if it does come back down to 20 or the low 20s, it won't spend long there at all. Like, it'll be something like this. If we zoom in on this area here, this seemed at the time to be the floor of the market, but something happened out of the blue. Someone dumped all of their Bitcoin, a whale, and caused this drop here. So did it spend long down there? Well, you could argue yes in this case. Let me just have a look. I'm going to measure this from here to here. 174 days. Is that what's that, half a year? Yeah, anyway. Perhaps that's not the best example. Maybe the COVID dip was a better example. Yeah, okay. So we had our lows here. We had our support here at, what was it, 6,500, we'll call it. And then boom, we dropped down to 4K right here. But it did not take long. It did not spend long below the old support. Once price got its head back up above it, it was, you know, smooth sailing up. And then obviously the euphoria kicked in when people realized, ooh, like, what's happening here? We're actually getting a bull run. Awesome. Then it's off to the races. So that's where we're at on the macro view. So will we get another kind of event like well, I'm not saying it's going to be a pandemic, but are we going to get some kind of event that drops the market out again like this? It could even be a recession, you know, like something like the GFC that dropped the market out, and no one, maybe some experts here and there saw it coming, but like everyone's seen the movie The Big Short. But for the most part, the majority of people in markets don't see these crazy events coming. Otherwise, they'd be opening crazy shorts and making a hell of a lot of money. But so what are we waiting for now? We're just we're waiting to see how this floor plays out. And the thing is, they can last, like these, where it seemingly gets stuck at a level, it can play out for a long time. Like, Bitcoin seemed to be stuck at around $10,000 for, how long was this? Oh, wrong tool. Let's see. Yeah, more than a year, 471 days. Yes, there's activity between it, but yeah, this whole section here was more than a year, and you can see what I mean. Like, bear markets can get pretty boring. And if you take out the anomalies, like the crazy black swan things, you could argue that this entire section here was the bear market, which is multi-year. Like, that's a lot of years right there. What's that? 1,000 days. Basically 1,000 days. So these are exceptions to the trend, these moments outside, but for the most part, price spent its time inside this box, this boring old box. But hey, the activity inside that box is still awesome. Like, you can still make some pretty amazing trades. If you were able to identify this early, this box back in the day, of this being the, you know, the supports area, then yeah, you'd be making buys, you'd be dollar cost averaging as price was falling, and then taking profit on any kind of bull run or any kind of trend up. So much the same as what we have here in Bitcoin today. We've got a new range that we're playing with, and I've just labeled them buy zone, but yeah, you can accumulate on the low end of these ranges, which is why I've got this green line here and this red line here at the moment. There seems to be a buy area and then a sell area playing out. And this, yeah, this is what accumulation looks like. So it may happen for a long time yet. Like, we could be in for like a long winter, so to speak. Let's have a look. Do LUNC lunch lunk. I've never seen lunk before. Let me add it to my list. Maybe I have, and I just can't remember it. Got Luna. Luna's up 46% today, 47%. That's crazy. Why is that? Oh, it's gone. Okay, yeah. Luna Classic. Oh, it's Luna Classic. Okay. See, that's how off... that's how out of touch I am with crypto at the moment. If you step away for like a couple of months, at least from the doing research on the new projects and just the news and everything, you lose touch. LUNCBUSD. Let's add that in, just so I can report on it. So Luna and LUNC, Luna Classic. Okay, Luna Classic. So Luna Classic, is this the one that's supposed to rescue Luna, the project? Like, this is supposed to be like it's saving grace? See, the stigma around Luna is still gonna affect Luna Classic, just like, you know, other projects that sort of fork off from the main project. But hey, who knows? It's so, like, you cannot predict moves like this. You just have to get on late, You know what I mean? Like, you have to come on after it's already started, because you just don't know. Like, you know, why couldn't that move happen over here? You know, that move up. Because we don't know. We don't know when it's going to happen. And when it happens, it's like, you know, this could have triggered like, oh yes, it's happening right here. But no, it did. And then that could have felt like a fake out, like this rise here. And then when you realize, oh hey, it's not, you're getting in halfway up, so it's late. But yeah, it's just it's pretty tricky to sort of predict where it's going to hit. And look, you can see where it's capping out here. See where it's capping out here? It seems to be where these resistances were in the past, just here. So if it can get up above, what's that, 9,000 Satoshis? Yeah, that seems to be the number. But yeah, this, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Luna Classic in the future. I think we need to wait for a bull market before we get any kind of crazy returns. But if it's going up 47, you know, 60% on Luna Classic, then it's totally up to you if you want to risk like jumping in on that. Like, it's because there's no guarantee. Like, it's just very random. There's no like real safe pattern about it. Like with Bitcoin, at least we know it's got history. Like it's got evidence of it holding $30,000 in the past and reacting strong off that level. So that gives you confidence in this area at least, or somewhat of a possible, you know, rise up in the future. But and that's all things going smooth sailing with Bitcoin and crypto in general. If something big and negative happens, like globally, like in the news or whatever, that could affect the price dramatically. Like if, you know, maybe if Elon Musk all of a sudden starts talking negatively or like changes his opinion on crypto in general, that could have a negative effect on price, on the whole market. So, and these things, you don't see them coming. They defy any kind of technical analysis because they're happening in the real world. Like, it's got nothing to do with technical analysis. It's just news that comes out that changes the sentiment. So anyway, that's pretty much my opinions at the moment on Bitcoin. Just play with these buy zones. Like, that's what I would say. It would be a miracle if it went anywhere into buy zone 3. That'd be awesome. Even if we got some crazy wicks that go down into the teens, like say 18, 19K or something. But don't count on it. But it's totally harmless to have a few cheeky buys set up, you know, like some orders down here, some buy orders just in case it does. But don't count on it, you know. I would say the likely orders to fill are going to be anything between obviously 28K and 30K at the moment. And then if you're doing this like swing trading long term, like multi-month or even like multi-year cycle, then there's nothing wrong with accumulating through these 3 zones. Like, just cost averaging, you know, just buy it where you can, whatever you can afford, and you just, as the price falls, you're buying it as it comes down cheaper and cheaper. And each time you buy, like, your dollar gets more powerful, but you're able to buy more, obviously, as it's cheaper. So, and then, you know, once that season is over, once that accumulation season has finished, you'll be sitting on a nice average. Like, let's say your average sits somewhere here, like at $26,000. That'll set you up for some really nice gains. And this strategy that can be applied to the alts as well. Like, you know, just pick your favorite alts. I like Solana, Maddox, Theta. You know, if you want to do it on Doge, that's, you know, go for it. It just depends what you think has a future in the next bull market. Like, what do you think is going to do well? But hey, just because something performed well last bull market, like last year, like for Solana, for example, it's not a guarantee that it's going to do it in the next bull market because something, you know, anything can happen between now and then. There was things, there was some alts, I think Neo, well, it wasn't Neo, it was like, what was it? EOS. Yeah, EOS. Like that had all this promise back in 2018. And, you know, people were thinking, oh yeah, that's definitely going to be top 10. That's going to be top 5 in the next bull market. But yeah, it didn't. It, you know, new projects came out and performed better. So you just, I guess that's where fundamental knowledge and research comes into play very strong. So there's a lot of good YouTube channels that talk about fundamentals. Coin Bureau, I think, is one. What's the others? There's like the Lark, Crypto Lark. What's his name? I'll find them for you. I'll read them out. Coin Bureau, Data Dash. Just going through my list of channels here. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. 1 second. Lark Davis. That's who it is. So I'll link you these channels in the chat so that you keep your keep up to date with what the big channels are saying. And a lot of people follow these channels, so you know you're getting the lowdown on what the bulk of the retail is learning about or listening to. Like what's the sentiment, and these guys put out what the sentiment is. You know, they seem to set the tone, I guess you could say. The big channels. What else did I say? Coin Bureau, yeah. Coin Bureau do a lot of reviews on altcoins. It's definitely worth looking up Coin Bureau. But yeah, those 3 channels are really good. I'd recommend them for information on what's happening. It's like watching the news for crypto, basically. All right, so what's up, Honest AF? It's good to see the OGs pop up into the chat. If you haven't done it already, smash the like button. I think we got more likes than viewers, so that's cool. But yeah, you guys are among the few people that still show up, even in the boring old crypto winter of the bear market. So well done to you guys for paying attention. This is what I was talking about, like during all the excitement up here, like all of this area and all the way back here, like through here. These are the times when people have their eyes on crypto because it's exciting and it's like entertainment. And wow, I'm gonna make money in like an hour. I'm gonna buy a Lamborghini in 5 hours because everyone's like, you know, the euphoria, they feel it. But no one's looking No, like the bulk of people aren't looking when crypto does this. It's boring. I understand it's boring. Happened to me. I totally did not take advantage of this. And I've said this in many streams. I didn't take advantage of these awesome low prices for Bitcoin. But hey, it's happening again. We're getting low prices off a high. And I'm not going to make the same mistake for a third time. I'm going to actually, and I have been accumulating where I can, what I can, the amount that I can afford, just accumulating what I can in this area. And, it certainly, you make more money paying attention to these boring times than you do in the high times, like when everything seems like it's a good time to, seems like a good idea to get involved at the top, doesn't it? That's just the way the cycle works. Like, yeah, millionaires are made in these areas, these low areas where things are asleep. Suckers are, they get involved up here. Like they're the suckers that are buying what these people bought, 6 months prior, 2 years prior, whatever. The smart money is selling to the dumb money. The dumb money loses money at the top of the market. They get angry about it and they turn their back on the market because they're angry. They're like, that was a waste of money and time. So they don't, they see that the price is down here. They're like, nah, that's a joke. I'm not touching it. It's dead. But, the cycle comes back around and it goes high and then they go, ooh, I wish I had paid attention. Just like me. Happened to me. Take it from me. Wish I had paid attention back here. And I'm sure you guys do too. Maybe some of you did, but yeah, I wish I had paid attention here because that happened. That huge all-time high of almost $70,000. So, yeah, and it's happened time and time again with Bitcoin. But yeah, it's just a matter of let me hide all the drawings for a second. To break it down real simple, a market is this. On repeat. Just on repeat. Like, let me just do this. It's a sine wave. And this is overly simplified, but all the attention is drawn to crypto when the market's heading up to the high. This is where all the dumb money buys. When the market has dropped, people lose faith. There's a lot of fear in the market, and you get the smart money buying here. So smart. This should be dumb buying, smart buying. Smart selling. Dumb selling down here. So don't sell your positions. If you're holding anything from buying up high, yeah, just hold it. Just wait. I would, I think anyway. No financial advice. Do whatever you want with your crypto, but oh, there's a lunch pump apparently. Thank you, Jojo. Nice, 6%, 5-minute candle. Not bad. Yeah, be careful on that. Don't lose your money. But yeah, not bad for a little day trade, hey? Or a scalp. At least it's moving. You know why that pump happened, and it's because of the turn of the daily candle. For me, it's 10 o'clock, but when you get a daily candle, all of these stats on the side get set back to 0. So up for the day is LUNC, Lunar Classic. What's down? What's struggling already? CTX, yeah, you get the idea. I'm gonna go back to my top 20 list, which probably isn't the top 20 anymore, but this is what it was at the time that I built it, this list. Alright, so yeah, Luna, just be careful because it's pretty sporadic at the moment. But good luck if you're trading it. Good luck to you. I hope that it performs well today. Now I'm just gonna go back to say Doge. Let's see what that's doing. Still flat as attack. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get much action out of that for a while, but happy to be wrong. How long has this stream been going for? 47 minutes. That's cool. Yeah, I'm thinking of keeping these streams short, maybe like an hour, something like that, give or take. Just to sort of let you know what the latest is or what my latest opinion is. I think my opinion's been pretty much the same since I've started up with the streams again, but yeah. But I guess homework would be research, dollar cost averaging. Check out Mark Davis. Data Dash, Coin Bureau. I don't even know how to spell bureau. Hang on a minute. Bureau. Euro. Right on. So research DCA and market cycles. Whoops. And that should keep you busy. If you're bored because you can't trade, at least do some research, like get in there and look up those channels. Learn about DCA, which is dollar cost averaging. Apps in there. So there's a good video on market cycles by a guy called, let me find it. And I'll put the link for it in the chat too. Chris Dunn. Yeah, Kristan.
Successful.
All right. There you go. That's the Kristan video. Strings. Hey Rick, great to hear you again. Thank you, Strings. Great to see you're in the chat here. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream. But for now, yeah, thanks for tuning in, and all the best with your trading if you're trading, or you're accumulating if you're in just investing. But I'll catch you on the next stream, and have a good day or night wherever you are. See ya.